I think it's fine.
When people are saying start the PowerPoint.
We will start the PowerPoint today, class.
Well, apparently we are the most professional developer team in Czechoslovakia, so...
Yeah.
Hey!
Okay, it's time to go to the next slide. No, let's just do
Exciting.
next slide.
When can we feel PGC? Yeah.
Questions and answers. So these are all questions that were asked in our Discord server. You can join our Discord server. There is a link in the description. Come and join the Discord server. It's a fun time.
It is.
All these questions that we are going to be answering were asked in there.
Yes. Okay.
Just don't ask for co-partners.
So, Vladimir asks, if anyone wants
go to the next slide, Ace.
We went to the next slide.
Because there's stream delay.
Ace,
That's hilarious. I forgot stream delay was a thing. I'm so sorry.
Can you stream on Discord your slides so we can talk in time? Please?
No, it would be bad.
Okay.
Don't.
Just open the slide. And
First time we've done something like this, you guys. Sorry about any little difficulties.
Just open the Google Slides that we have this on and follow along there.
Okay.
Okay, so Vladimir here asks, you don't have plans to add custom OST for the mini campaign? What level design styles have that campaign? If you need to rate the difficulty of the mini campaign puzzles, how many points you give? 1 is easy, 10 is very hard. So, we do have plans for ambient tracks and some music for the chambers. As for the styles, well, I would say wait and see, but well, you've already seen them. Also, the difficulty of said puzzles cannot actually be marked via numbers, since everyone solves puzzles differently. What I can say is that they start off simple-ish to introduce the mechanics, and then start getting a bit harder. I suspect you may get stuck on some of the puzzles. Trico asks, will the campaign show off NPCs to signify that they function? Andy?
Andy is muted. Andy says, yes, you will be seeing scientists working on stuff.
They're definitely included in the campaign, but it's not only to signify that they function. In fact, it's not to signify that they function at all. It's like just a part of the campaign. I mean, they function, you know what I mean? But it's not like we put them in the campaign to show that they work, so...
Yeah.
Campaign is more than just a tech demo. It would be really scary, but the campaign people could like run away from us programmers. They would be able to make a whole mod. Like it's pretty fantastic.
We could just up and leave the Chaos Initiative. And
please don't.
No, we won't.
But campaign's really awesome.
Yeah.
It's more than just a tech demo.
Okay. Fiffle Sniffle asks, will the contraption queue make an epic comeback? Somebody wants to speak for Andy?
Sure. Andy says, definitely not in the campaign. Maybe there will be a basic queued entity that will allow you to change its mass, elasticity, and friction, but no promises on that. Likely you'll be able to do something like that. I'm speaking as myself now, not as Andy. Likely you'll be able to do something vaguely like that using scripting systems that we are introducing, like Chaos Script, or maybe even a little bit of eScript. You could be doing something like that.
Yeah. Laserfont0103 asks, will there be a multiplayer campaign or just single player, or maybe a way to make either campaign with either amount of players? Oxy?
The campaign is just single player. You can play maps in multiplayer, like if you really, really want to, you want to try and break the game or whatever, sure, fine. But we give no promises on like a playable experience or anything functioning in the slightest.
Yeah.
Attempt at your own risk.
Yeah. Another Amber asks, dear Portal 2 Community Edition team, how was your day? Stressful. Extremely stressful.
It was really awful, actually.
Horrible. Don't want to go through that again.
Oh, it's fun.
Too many timers, I think.
Too many timers. PTSD of timers now. Everyone hates them.
RTX clock.
I like how the answer to this question changed, because originally it was Craftable saying, yeah, day was good.
Yeah, day was good.
Well, that was the day the question was asked.
If only we had known.
Things have changed.
How we could have known. And now we're going on to the Chaos script. So Igrium asks, have you officially decided on a language for CScript yet?
We're going to be using AngelScript. JJ, if you want to talk about AngelScript.
I mean, AngelScript is like C++. It's a very fast scripting language. It has a JIT plugin, meaning just-in-time compilation. So basically means it's blazing fast. It's easy to integrate with C++, and yeah, basically what we ended up deciding on. .NET would have been cool, but more work to integrate, and a couple of the other programmers that are actually kind of pushing forward the ChaosScript stuff on the back end did want AngelScript, and we already use AngelScript in Hammer actually, so we just decided to use AngelScript. So we didn't really start on the scripting system before deciding to switch to AngelScript, so there was no loss of productivity or anything.
Yay! Next question.
Weird fun.
Nanoman asks, rough time frame for when ChaosScript will be finished? Redstone Paradox, what does this mean for ChaosScript? And Eurasuper, is new .NET scripting system being worked on? JJ?
Yeah, so I can't give a timeline. Ideally before 1.0 being the first public release of P2C on Steam. But it's not what we call a release prerequisite, meaning we can still release on Steam and stuff and not have this finished. It's just not, huge. It's important, but it's not like there's other things that take priority over it. And as I said before, we're not using .NET either. We're going to be using AngelScript.
Okay, so Ashley asks, how much do you guys plan to expose to scripting? How much do you plan to make modifiable/extendable without source code access in any way? Examples, could I make new weapons, objects when not via scripting? Fiffle Sniffle also asks, are there any big limitations to CScript? Can you give examples of what can and can't be made with it? Examples, can make custom gel, can't make a 3 portal device. Ender asks, are CScript capabilities already defined? If so, is there any idea on when work will start? And finally, Ingram asks, how powerful is the scripting engine? Is it like Sandbox, where you can go as far as to code custom entities, or will it just allow you to manipulate I/O like the current vScript?
Yeah, so basically think of Gmod scripting in terms of what will be possible. You'll have the ability to make NPCs, weapons, vehicles, whatever. We're also planning to add support for custom shaders. We'll see how that goes. I think it'll work out, but we'll have to see. And it'll, of course, have the same capabilities as vScript. Ideally, we want to be kind of deprecating vScript entirely, and we kind of want people to move over to ChaosScript when that comes out. But yeah, it's basically going to be like Gmod scripting, but more, I guess, just there's more stuff in general than Gmod, and using AngelScript instead of Lua.
Right. HotCoco.com asks, will Lua scripting be an option instead of Squirrel, or C# maybe? Just an easier coding language.
No, so we're not going to be offering any alternative. So, okay, well, let me back up on that. For ChaosScript, we're only going to be offering AngelScript because there's a lot of code that we need to write in AngelScript itself, like, additions basically to, additions to the library, basically. We need to write a lot of AngelScript code for ChaosScript. So if we were to support another language, that would mean we'd have to effectively, duplicate that effort and write that kind of boilerplate code again. So it also causes some fragmentation in the ecosystem, so we basically don't want to do that. I don't think AngelScript is particularly hard to learn either. So, it's not going to be necessarily as easy as Lua, but it shouldn't be that hard to learn.
Alright. It's me, Doc, asks, will there be ways to add entities to the game / easily add weapons or stuff like that?
Yep, that's the whole point of ChaosScript. So you can add all sorts of fun little things that would not normally be able to be done with VScript. Yep.
Alright. Igrium asks, have you considered allowing custom plugins for the game to be made with CScript, like adding additional tools and UIs?
I think custom UI you'll be able to make any custom UI you want to make with Panorama, and that's XML-ish, JavaScript-ish type deal. Using CScript, we'll probably have interfaces for you to be able to interact between the two of them. Got some plugins. Yeah, like tools and UI. I mean, yes. I mean, JJ, I saw you unmute. Do you have a further comment?
Yes, I do. So for Panorama, I'm actually working on something for tool UIs. It's basically like a window manager for Panorama. It sounds stupid, but it basically functions the same as vGUI. So that'll be used for a lot of in-game like debugging panels, like fog UI, color correction UI, and of course that'll also allow you to make your own. It'll be pretty easy. You basically just add a checkbox and you can hook it up to a CVAR, and then it will toggle the CVAR. You can have like line edits and graphs and whatever. So yeah, for in-game stuff, it'll be using Panorama. You can already use AngelScript in Hammer, although that doesn't let you add new UIs, but it does let you add like scriptable solids, or what they're called, which is useful for like surf ramps, for example, in Momentum. But yeah, we're definitely going to be expanding that interface so you can interact with the tools more using CScript. So yeah.
Okay. Trico Everfire asks, will you be able to expand the player animation event system? Actions like walking, swimming, jumping, and crouching are hard-coded events for the player. But will we get a system where we can add our own with custom conditions to trigger it? Like adding a roll, or ledge climb, or the stuff alike?
Not for a very, very long time. These are things that we would likely be adding to CScript much, much down the line. The ability to make custom animations and other types of fancy things as part of like movement and so on and so forth. But these would be things that we would do much further down the line. So, would be nice to have down the line.
Okay. Samuel Hamuel asks, will there be any new additions to VScript, such as networking?
Off the top of my head, I think Aaron was doing some stuff, messing around with figuring out some things with networking. These things are somewhat in the air. Adding stuff like networking to, well, it likely wouldn't be VScript. It would be likely we'd be adding networking support to CScript, or potentially some systems to interact between the Pano JavaScript with other such stuff. But any kind of networking that we would be writing code for is something that we won't have fully set in stone or decided for a little while, because we need to consider security implications and so on and so forth. So we want to make sure that our game is solid and we're not going to accidentally make it so when someone connects up to a server, you can just send a billion packets and cause problems. Yeah, it would be nice for CScript down the line.
Okay. Samuel Hamuel again asks, will there be limits on CScript? If networking is said not to be added for security reasons, wouldn't a C# plugin allow network requests through standard libraries? Will there be limits to put on plugins? Also, how is CScript planned to be distributed? Will they be included in maps like VScript, or will they only really be useful to devs and mod makers?
So limits on CScript, I mean, obviously we're not going to be offering like an HTTP thing where you can download an arbitrary file off the internet and like save it as any file with any extension. We might offer like an HTTP interface or something like that to use to send requests, maybe. But like networking, for example, there will definitely be like source-specific networking, like adding networked variables and stuff. Standard stuff like that. We do, so since this is no longer using C#, It's a little different because with .NET you have a large standard library. Originally, what we were going to do is whitelist namespaces to use for ChaosScript. What we'll do for AngelScript is we'll probably, depending on like if the game is like a standalone Steam game, if that makes sense. Depending on if it's a standalone Steam game, we might enable or disable certain things. So, like, maybe an HTTP request interface would only be enabled for standalone mods on Steam or ModDB that use P2C. And we would do that probably using some signed file in the game files or something along those lines. And ideally, the end user wouldn't be able to modify it easily, just for security purposes. About distribution, it'll be distributed like VScript in plain text. The scripts will be, since AngelScript is either an interpreted or JIT compiled language, the source files will need to be distributed with mods or maps that use them. So it'll be distributed like VScript basically.
Alrighty. Next up is gameplay questions. So, Electrodynamite12 asks, will there be a slow projectile-based portal shot system from Portal 1 and not only hit scan system from Portal 2?
This is a planned feature for P2CE. We want to make it possible for you to enjoy Portal 1 content true to how it was made. So having this option is necessary for us. We're going to be supporting as much as we can, making it possible to play Portal 1 maps in P2CE and make it feel like Portal 1.
Okay. Pergagreen asks, have there been any new additions to test elements?
I think Andy wrote this one. Goes, yes, there will be Schrodinger cubes, colored lasers, adhesion gel, reflection gel, which can now reflect light bridges and funnels, and paint gel. So lots of...
Is very cursed when a funnel gets redirected.
Yeah, reflection gel.
Kind of needs
something
some work there.
Yeah, that's something that I'm not...
I don't think anyone wants to go do that because that sounds like a headache.
Yeah, I don't know why we have reflection gel.
It is 'cause
colored lasers. Yeah, Galaxy Gaming Boy says colored lasers. Yeah, we forgot on our own list. Thank you. We've got colored lasers as well.
Yeah.
You just didn't read it right.
I didn't read it right?
Yeah, it says colored lasers.
Oh my gosh. Wait, did I say colored lasers or did I not?
I don't remember.
Oh my goodness. I think I'm losing my mind.
I think the Discord people have broken you.
I think I've been running around way too much today. I'm too tired.
Yeah.
Colored lasers.
Well, don't worry. We only got like 86 slides to go through.
Colored lasers. We're gonna let you know more about later.
Yeah, they got some funky properties.
Yep, we're working on them. You've actually seen them today multiple times, I think.
Yeah, it's
in the fire maps.
Yeah, and they've popped up through the one of the properties is actually just casually shown in the background image.
Yeah.
If anyone was observant enough to catch that. Okay. Fiffle Sniffle asks, do you plan to rewrite adhesion gel?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
the current. If you're a beta tester and you're currently trying to use adhesion gel, that is not the final version of adhesion gel. Adhesion gel is a work in progress. We're rewriting it. We're making it better. We're making something much more polished. It's not done yet, and it won't be done for a little while. But yes.
Right, yeah. Okay, next up is the graphics. So, Zajunia14 asks, will you implant parallax corrected Q maps into the game and Hammer?
Yes, just go to the next slide. Yeah, so I can't tell, but there should be a video on the screen now that is showing, parallax corrected cube maps in P2CE. It's already here. Woohoo! This has been a feature for a while.
Yeah.
So you are able to use parallax corrected cube maps. They're cool. They look nice.
Yeah,
They're very cool.
they do.
Thank you, JJ, for the video.
You're welcome. It took me like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot
It's
of
great
effort.
floor texture.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very shiny. Bob did a good job.
Cringe standard cube maps.
Standard Q maps suck.
Hey,
Very.
Hezabird asks, will there be ray tracing added?
What do you mean? VRAD already does ray tracing.
Exactly.
But screen space reflections and screen space refraction are things that we're looking at adding, especially refraction, because Source has an issue with that, especially because it's rendered in an odd way, or not really odd way, but it's not. There's issues with it, so we might add screen space refraction and screen space reflections as well, which I guess would technically be kind of ray tracing, kind of. So.
Yep. Next up are questions about Hammer. David24 asks, will the announced Hammer rework have a different UX?
Yes, that is planned.
Okay. Train Boy asks, native Linux Hammer when?
So native is planned, but no timeline because it takes a while. You can already run it in Wine. It mostly works. I think it actually works pretty decently. It's just laggy because there were some fixes that were applied that kind of fixed things in the wrong way and it degraded performance. But we're working on that. So, but it runs through Wine right now.
Bacon asks, Hammer dark theme?
Please.
Yeah, I mean you're getting theming actually, just with Qt because that's what we're going to be porting Hammer to, or that's what we are porting Hammer to. You get theming in general with Qt. So yes, Hammer dark theme, Hammer red theme, Hammer blue theme, Hammer I don't know what
Hammer
other colors
pride
there are.
theme.
I'm gonna make my hammer
Pride
like
theme.
I'm gonna make my hammer like full red, zero green, full blue. It's gonna be that shade.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'll all be available with the Qt stuff. You can already, like, the dialogues with Qt already actually run in. Actually, they already have theming. I totally forgot about that. I added theming, but since we only have a handful of dialogues ported to Qt on our hammer, it's kind of like inconsistent. But yeah.
Pippo Sniffle asks, okay, kinda a joke, but still, will you guys remove the carve tool, rewrite it to not be bad, or leave it for noob masochism?
My personal plans are to replace carve with like actual CSG, but that's just something that I personally really want to do. So that is not a goal of P2CE. It's not a goal of Chaos. It's not a long-term this is something we're definitely going to do, but it would be very nice to replace carve with an equivalent that's actually functional, that you can actually use without destroying your map geometry. So long term would be nice. Short term, no. It's just going to be there. You get to use it for your fun times.
Okay. Pippo Sniffle again asks, are there any quality of life features you plan to add to existing Hammer ends, such similar to volumetrics for projected textures?
Oh my goodness, we've added a lot of different quality of life features as already to existing Hammer entities, like many. Volumetrics for projected textures, that doesn't really make a ton of sense because it's a projected texture. You're projecting a texture, you're not projecting a volume. So no. I mean, if you want volumetric lights, yes, it'd be very cool. But we have a ton of quality of life features already. We have a ton that are planned. And you can go check our GitHub and you can see what we're working on. Also, we've got a lot of people who are saying that the stream is buffering pretty bad. This is kind of tragic.
This is tragic.
Just give it a minute to recover, I guess.
I mean, I'm not getting any errors. Can you check the stream health, Oxy?
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Dashboard? Because because I'm not getting any issues here. OBS is saying.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. if it will let me.
Yeah, you could probably lower the resolution as well.
I can't edit the resolution on the fly. I'd have to stop the stream.
Okay, never mind.
I could maybe at most I could maybe alter the bitrate. I don't know if like that would help though.
I'd just wait it out.
Yeah, it might just be an issue.
Yeah, let us know what's going on, chat, with buffering.
What's the stream health?
I haven't, for some reason, it won't tell me. I thought I was looking at it, and then I was like, oh, I go into the streaming menu, and then I was like, no, you're not going into the streaming menu, and I was like, oh, all right. So, I'm trying to navigate in there.
Okay.
Oh, I think I'm finally at it.
Okay.
Here we go, stream health. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Oh no!
Yeah, I got that a lot during the timer stream, and it just kind of eventually went away.
Yeah, if your ISP is shitty like mine, it'll pipe up every so often, and then it'll screw off after a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like this is just spiking up in the last minute or so.
Yeah, so it might just be like, you might just have to wait it
so
out, maybe reload the video.
Please let us know when it starts working in chat, or starts
we'll-
improving, I should say.
We'll just chill here then, until it goes back to normal.
While we chill for a second, hey chat, you got any questions for us that you can get answers for through a very buffered experience?
What's going on here?
Oh, welcome,
YouTube
Luke.
is dying apparently. Well,
Yep.
apparently it's buffering. So we're just gonna wait it out.
What's the lowest bit rate possible? I don't know. 1 bit. It's gonna load really well.
They're calling JJ cringe. This is so mean.
Someone talked earlier about paint gun. We do have paint gun.
Yes, we do. The paint gun percent, for example, it's very fun. Kind of hard though, at the moment. All the maps are ready for that.
Yeah, wow, there were like 3 different big reveal or showcase things today. We did our thing, and then Geometry Dash 2.2 did a sneak peek, and then also Desolation did their like funnel thing.
Oh, there's a sneak peek for Desolation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a new remastered funnel model.
Oh, cool. I'll have to go watch that after. Is stream better? Anyone in chat? Has stream recovered?
It doesn't seem to be buffering as much for me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's buffering for me on my screen. Stream health has not improved. How bad is it buffering for you all? Oh, hey, it actually suggests that we dump the bitrate down, it says to me. It says your current bitrate is 13351.84 kilobits per second, or something. Kilobits, I think. It says that we should lower it to 4500. So.
I mean, I currently have it set here to 25,000 kilobytes.
What do you have it set to?
25,000.
Yeah, I would dump it down.
To what, 4,500?
4,500 is what they suggest.
Okay, 4,500, apply. We'll see
All
what
right.
that does.
Let us know. Tell us, is
let
this
us know
a
if-
better, less buffering? You all have ambient occlusion. I mean, VRAD does?
Yeah. I know
yeah.
Bumrat
VRAD
has.
Well, that's just from CSGO.
Yeah.
And of course, we're based on CSGO, so we got that. What other CSGO things? There's a big
VRAD-
file I think CSGO has.
Smade made it up so that VRAD would do it through the portals, yeah?
Yes, that's right. So, for those of you who don't know, static world portals can have light travel through them in VRAD now, which is pretty helpful for lighting maps when you have world portals. So it's pretty great. And for the person who asks if we're dropping keys right now, we are not. At the end of the Q&A, we will be dropping 75 keys to people who have been approved on the key applications list.
Yes.
So people who have approved or who have applied for a key application, basically before today, had a chance of getting a key to become a beta tester. And we'll be giving those out at the end of the stream. There won't be any like drops or anything like that.
Yeah.
For the next event, I think we're going to be maybe doing like a quiz or a puzzle or something to give out a key or two. But that'll be for the next event.
You have to guess what's in JJ's pockets.
Joke's on you. Actually, some lint, I think.
But for those who did get keys, were approved keys, don't worry about anyone stealing them. They will be DM'd directly to you by me.
Also, we're still buffering pretty hard.
Yep.
Okay, well,
It says that the bit rate did not change. It says that your bit...
Streaming again. Okay, it says up.
Stream never dropped. Wow.
Hmm?
Oh, I
How are
see.
we looking?
Biffle sniffles.
I'm waiting for the stream to catch up. We're gonna see.
Hello, chat. How good or bad is the stream?
Is it better?
Everyone see us?
I hope so.
Oh yeah, I can hear myself. So we are live again.
We're live again.
Okay,
Is the bit better? Maybe I just had to stop the stream and start it again.
People are saying it's good.
Okay, let's go before it craps out.
Yeah. Mhm.
All right.
Okay, finally, now we can get on to mounting. HotCoca.com asks, how does Portal 2 Community Edition work with mods? Like, can you play Portal 2 mods with it? Also, will it include the normal Portal 2 story? But Garrys is the one who originally wrote this, if someone wants to speak for them, if they don't want to speak.
Well, they're not here. I think Beggery is taking a nice long nap after spending a lot of time
Fair.
making all the video things work.
If someone else wants to answer.
Beggery writes, PTC works with mods like any other source game. PTC or Portal 2 mods may require a little bit of manual intervention to be playable, but they should be pretty consistent. Since certain, which is me saying, and then Beggery continues, since certain game behaviors are not consistent between P2CE and Portal 2. Side note, we do have a lot of compatibility with base Portal 2. And if you have errors with base Portal 2 and they're not errors that we explicitly purposely put in there, like we'd appreciated VGUI, don't use VGUI, right? Then send us in a bug report on our GitHub and let us know what that problem is, because P2CE is designed to be very, very compatible with Portal 2. And then there was one more that says, P2CE will include the original single player and multiplayer campaigns. You'll be able to play them.
Yeah. With all of the fancy new features that we add. More like the graphical, like Garcia, for example.
Yeah. The campaign itself won't be too different if you're just playing.
It'll pretty much just be identical to as it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, of course, we do have some plans for things like the paint gun mode, where you would be playing through the campaign with the paint gun instead of a portal gun, and we'd modify the maps a bit to make them completable with just a paint gun. And then also to kind of go along with that, we've considered like some kind of like reduced clipping mode, where basically we just like get rid of clip brushes. So you'd still have a portal gun, but you can do all these extra like speedrun skips and things that wouldn't normally be possible because they're clipped off.
Neither of those things are...
That would also be used for the paint gun to allow you to just, move around more and like use adhesion gel in more places and stuff. Neither of those are specifically being worked on right now, though.
They are not promises for 1.0. They will not come out when P2CE comes out of the box. This is something much, much, much down the line. Something fun for later.
Something fun. Okay, next question from Richaboyula. Hope I spelled that correctly. Will there be content, NPCs, weapons, etc., not only from Half-Life 2, but also from the original Half-Life? Orcel asks, will Portal 2 Community Edition allow adding of models, textures, NPCs, and other elements from other source games like Half-Life 2 to be used in Hammer? Pivotman319 asks, will Portal 2 Community addition feature near full compatibility with existing Half-Life 2/episodic mods. And hotcoca.com asks, will it be possible to put almost all of Half-Life 2 in Portal 2 Community Edition?
So as far as our plans for Half-Life 2 support within P2CE go, it's basically to the extent to which you can play Portal 1 content that makes use of Half-Life 2 content. We're not going to be adding anything from Half-Life 1 or Opposing Force or Blue Shift or anything like that. That is not within the scope of P2CE. What is in the scope is allowing people to play Portal 1 mods under P2CE. Some Portal 1 mods will make use of fun little Half-Life 2 NPCs, weapons, etc., etc. But along with making a lot of that stuff work, a lot of Half-Life 2 support comes as well. So you can play a decent bit of Half-Life 2, kind of. It's not at all supported, though. It's just like, hey, if you want to try that, sure, but that's up to you. The extent of our support for Half-Life 2 stuff is to the point where Portal 1 stuff works.
Jen Wafflecopter asks, will there be a way to play Portal 2 mods like Aperture Tag, Portal Story Smell, and Reloaded in Portal 2 Community Edition?
Yeah, I mean, you can play these different mods in P2CE, but, I mean, I'm not sure if you would really want to do that. It's more likely that you would just break that mod than you would really benefit anything. A lot of people just said stream ended. Why is the screen black? Reload. Is everything working for you all?
It says I'm still streaming on my end.
Yeah, I can see the stream on mine. Stream's back. I don't know. It could have been a thing where the entirety of like California lost internet again. That'd be funny. No, it wouldn't. That'd be bad. A lot of people are now saying that it works. Yay!
Okay. Yeah, maybe YouTube's just having weird issues today.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, if you want to play a Portal 2 mod in P2CE that has been made for Portal 2 but not P2CE, you can. I would suggest just playing it in Portal 2 though, because that is the way that mod was made. P2CE doesn't inherently make anything the definitive version. This is so much better. The way that something was designed and made is probably the best. It's like you want to play your NES game on your original NES because it's not whatever, right? But it's the original experience. But yeah, you can if you want to.
Next, from Lil Lemby. Will NPC functionality be returned? Would it be possible to mount Half-Life 2 to Portal 2 Community Edition and spawn in zombies, for example?
Yes! Next slide. Hit it. Here's a video, it should be up, I can't see, of zombies. And this is just straight up Ravenholm. Thank you, Andy, for the recording. This is some kind of preliminary footage. So nothing that you see here is exactly perfect. It's a little bit buggy.
Concept.
Point being is that you can screw around and try to play Half-Life 2 in P2C if you want.
Can you beat all of Half-Life 2 using only a portal gun? Find out now.
Probably easily, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, this is P2CE. This is Portal 2. You can spray some gels around. You can throw some portals around. You can, I don't know, have a Wheatley. What's another Portal 2 thing?
A turret. Wonder if the turrets would shoot at the zombies.
I think they would, probably, if the relationships are set up correctly. This is just us literally mounting, like, basic Portal 1 content on P2CE. Like, this was not even, like, inherently super, like, perfect. This was like, hey, this would be fun to throw in the QnA.
Yeah.
So it works. It's not inherently supported, but you can do it.
Yep. So next up is multiplayer questions. November asks, would you be considering any improvements to multiplayer support in Portal 2 Community Edition, or will it be left stock? Joshua Quest asks, states 4-player mode. Samuel Hamuel states dedicated server. And Greep, will there be a co-op with more than 2 players, like 4-player co-op?
Yeah, I mean, all of this, yeah. These are planned. These are down the line. These are things that we want to do. They're not going to be inherently supported. Like if you want to throw in ton of players into a single server and screw around, sure, yeah, we'll let you do that, but we're not going to inherently support it. If you bring to us a bug and you're like, I have everybody that I know in a single game with me, and all the portals are, the FPS is bad. It's like, okay, yeah, sure, you can do that, but we're not stopping you. It's your game, have fun. But it's not something that we inherently support, but we want to allow people to do fun things. So we're going to give you the tools to do fun things, but what you do with that is what you do with that.
Yeah.
This is all coming down the line, though. It's not super high priority for us.
Next up, from Samuel Hamuel, will there be new or access to the old co-op cosmetics, along with new cosmetics like a player model that works over multiplayer?
Oh, these are fun questions. We will likely have features for you to be able to configure cosmetics and play around with stuff. We know that people love to dress up their portal guns and make their models look cool and have a lot of personality and express themselves in their stuff. So we want to enable that. As to how we go about that, we're not totally certain yet because these are things for much down the line. We want to make sure that things are fantastic before we give you hats.
Yeah, I'd like to add, I guess we're not really planning to have cosmetics. I mean, there's obviously some limits imposed on us because we're a mod and we cannot charge money because of our licensing agreement. So, yeah, I guess it remains to be seen what we do with the inventory system, I guess. Maybe, I'm thinking maybe we could have, like cosmetic rewards for like completing a map in like a world record time or something for like challenge mode, something like that. We'll have to see though.
Yeah, we're not going to charge anyone for anything. Even if we could, we wouldn't, because it's Portal. It's fun. You already paid for Portal.
Yeah, like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Bought mine at GameStop.
Same.
Yeah. So if we have cosmetics, they will be just free, screw around, have fun with your game type stuff. Nothing particularly crazy.
Next up, just general questions. So Trika Everfire asks, will Portal 2 Community Edition hold events? TF2 has events created by the community, but will Portal 2 Community Edition itself hold events like competitions, challenges, collaborations, etc.?
Andy writes, if I'm remembering correctly, yes, we have an idea in mind about competitions, but we are not sure about events yet. It's highly likely to happen in the future. That'd be a lot of fun. So, yeah, hopefully.
It's Me Doc asks, will there be an open beta before Portal 2 Community Edition's release? And Win-Win LMFAO asks, will there be a public beta stage?
Right, so the public beta is what we consider the first Steam release, basically. Up until the first Steam release, we're going to be giving out keys like we already are. Like I said, at the end of the Q&A, we're going to be accepting 75 new beta testers, which is a lot of people. And we're going to be doing that throughout the development process up until the public release on Steam. Ideally, we would be using the playtest system eventually, which is something that Valve introduced, I think over a year ago at this point, that essentially allows people to request access to the game, and they can be given access, very easily. And it's very clear that it's a playtest as well. Unfortunately, mods can't use that. So P2C can't use that. Any other mod on Steam can't use that. So as such, we're kind of limited in our options. We also can't release into early access. That's another thing that mods can't do. So if we were to do a public beta on Steam, that would entail effectively saying the app is released, everybody have fun. And even if we put, this is a beta banner everywhere, and, made announcements saying this is beta, I think we'd still have a lot of issues with people understanding that it's a beta. Long story short, it would kind of be dead on arrival if we were to do open beta in this stage. So we have determined that about 90% of our critical features and release goals need to be in place before public release on Steam. Otherwise, the game will pretty much be dead on release because, people... that kind of also happens with early access games. It's like, oh, this game's been in early access for so long. People kind of forget about it. So basically, we need to be almost in a release state before we do a Steam release. So yeah.
Okay. Next question from Agrium asks, what do you have left to do before it's considered ready to release to developers and other people who want to make things?
Okay, so we're kind of already releasing it to the community via keys. People who want to make mods and make maps, whatever, they can get access very easily. We'd like to give keys to people who are going to use what PGC is good at right now, which is, of course, modding stuff. But we have a number of focus areas that we've identified. And these focus areas are critical for release. So the campaign, Portal 2 backwards compatibility, gameplay extensions. The new scripting system is semi-critical. Like it'd be great to have that in place by 1.0, but it's not guaranteed. And then we have other other concentrations, basically, or other what did I call them? Focus areas. We have other focus areas that are not critical. So like tooling, massive tooling rewrites and improvements, such as Qt tool rewrites, Qt engine tools, the hammer rewrite. That stuff is also good to have, but definitely not required for release. But there's a lot to get done, and like I said, we need to have basically all of the release critical focus areas in place and kind of complete by the time we make it public on Steam.
Okay. Next, Fiffle Sniffle asks, how long after 1.0 do you plan to support Portal 2 Community Edition? Will there be any new features? Will any new features be added after release? And Trico Everfire asks, what are some of the things you guys plan post 1.0? Are there any goals you guys have for the future, aside from CScript, Portal 2 CE, PTI, because we already know about those?
So yeah, there are definitely features that are coming after 1.0. Full timelines are hazy. They're difficult to kind of create. But we have a number of features planned post 1.0. One of them is a total tools refactor. Basically, eventually we want to rewrite the engine tools using Qt, or not necessarily rewrite, but we want to rework them using Qt, the Hammer Qt port, and a bunch of other things like that. That's all kind of something we're going to do after 1.0. We're definitely going to do it, I think, but it's after 1.0. And how long will the support last? Like I said, timelines are hazy. We kind of don't know. It depends on motivation of the team, and of course we're all volunteers. We're not getting paid. We're not going to get paid in any point for our work on this, aside from like resume experience or whatever. But it kind of depends on the success of the project. Like if PPC releases and people are like, cool, and then our player count's like 5 players, like a max of 5 players a day or something. If the game flops, if the game totally flops, then I can't see release, or I can't see support lasting for that long after release, unfortunately. But yeah, if it's successful, if it's moderately successful, if it's even a little bit successful, there'll definitely be support after 1.0, but we just don't know for sure.
Okay.
It'll be supported unless JJ gets run over by a bus. I'm kidding.
True, and that may happen. You never know. That's why I say it's hazy.
Hey, Fiffle Sniffle asks, speaking of launch, since you can't give an official release date yet, how far along are you in terms of development, and can you give a rough estimate? Any date, example, month 22X, of when you plan to release /early access? Yeah,
so the reason this question is kind of a duplicate of the previous ones, but I wanted to address it because it says any date, month, 202X. So it's very difficult for us to give a idea of when the game's going to be released. But when we do, it's going to have to be on a large granularity, right? We're going to maybe say early, this year, or late this year, or something along those lines, or quarter whatever of this year, because ultimately there's not a lot of time in a month, and delays can really throw a wrench in things. So we're not going to be saying like month of 202X unless we really absolutely know that everything's done and we're basically ready to go. Then we'll say something like that and we'll give an exact date. But until then, the release estimates are going to be very vague to allow for, kind of just flexibility, because once again, we're a volunteer team. And even if we weren't a volunteer team, there are things that can interrupt development or take longer than expected, or, just other issues that may exist or may, happen. So yeah, we do have internally goals and timelines, I think. Well, not I think, we do. But we're obviously not making those public, and they are also very flexible. So, yep.
Hey.
Wait.
Okay. What?
Nothing.
Okay. Next question was from Game World. Will Portal 2 Community Edition become like a Portal 2 version of Garrys Mod, considering all the new content that will have been added? And also, as others have said, will it have a full workshop support? Because that would be extremely useful feature for modders, map makers, and etc.
Our goal isn't specifically to become Garrys Mod. We want to provide as many features and goals and or powerful tools to you, the modders. We don't want to explicitly become, hey, go join me on P2CERP server number 782. We're gonna go rock out with our 72 players with portal guns. Like, that's not an explicit goal of ours. You are free to do with P2CE whatever you want to do. Our primary goal is to just provide to you great workshop support, great tooling, great ways to mod P2CE, and an extension of Portal 2. So whatever, we'll give you all the tools, give you all the fun toys, and what you do with that is what you do with that. And what will become of P2CE will be what P2CE will become. We don't explicitly try to become Garrys Mod, but it will be whatever you want to do with it.
Okay. Trico Everfire asks, will there be custom guns apart from the Half-Life 2 guns?
Well, you can add custom guns eventually, that is, with CScript. As for us, Half-Life 2 guns have been imported and stuff, but I don't think we need anything else at all. We have the Fizz gun, I guess, which is from Half-Life 2 beta, but Gmod uses that as well. Let's see, and then we have the cube map thing. If you like cube maps, there's a weapon that shows cube maps and stuff. That's it, and portal gun, paint gun. But there's not going to be anything else added.
Hey, quick question. I was just reading through the Discord chats. Is the music too loud? Do we want that to be turned down at all? Because I can go turn that down if it's too loud.
If they say it's too loud, I just turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, well, I need... whoever's monitoring the chat, can you tell me what they're saying? Is Oxy?
That's Craftable.
What? Yeah,
chat.
Craftable's running chat.
Okay.
Sorry, I had muted my mic for a second. One person said down a tiny bit. Other people are saying it is. I don't know what that means. One person said it's fine, music fine. Turn it down like a small amount. Okay. It's good. Turn it down a little bit, not massively.
Okay, I've turned it down a little bit. We'll see how
Tiny
that goes.
notch.
Does that sound better to everyone who's listening?
What was that noise? No, seriously, what was that noise?
It was me.
How do you even make a sound like that?
With your mouth.
He's not human. There's an alien wearing Oxy's skin.
Okay.
I'm not an alien.
That's what
Everyone
aliens
does this
say.
thing. Yeah, exactly.
No, not an alien.
Hey, Atheonic asks, why did the team choose to use the CSGO engine? How was Portal 2 Community Edition created? What are the motives, and how was the idea of Portal 2 Community Edition created?
So Portal 2, or P2C, was created as an improvement project for Portal 2. That was basically its entire goal when it was created. with, of course, primarily modders in mind. We weren't planning on like remastering the entire game or anything like that. We weren't doing that. So I won't go into the full history, but the 3 founding members worked long and hard to get a license. It took them a long time. There was a lot of like road bumps and stuff like that. Eventually, we had more programmers brought on, and the entire team grew significantly, and we grew the mapping and artist team even more. So yeah, here we are today. CSGO's engine was chosen simply because it's the newest branch. It's pretty much the only maintained branch of the engine. It has Panorama, of course, Panorama being the new UI system that CSGO and Source 2 uses. And there's just a lot of other improvements that CSGO got, including CSM and stuff. And it just made sense to choose the up-to-date branch with all these fancy new features and port Portal 2 to it. So that's basically what we did. Next question.
Sorry. Thought you would talk longer. Hey, Samuel asks, would it not be possible to post changes you made to the engine or the added features for the possibility of backporting to another SDK or mod while stripping out any proprietary source engine code?
We would like to, but there is that whole Valve NDA kind of aspect to everything. So a lot of what we do is under NDA. And due to copyright laws and other such things, anything that is a derivative work is also under that same license. So if we go in and we tweak something, and any of that is touching Valve code, we can't share it, which really sucks. It really does, but that's just how that works legally. We would like to keep P2CE alive and not get Valve legal upset with us. So anything that we do share, we want to share as much as we can, though. We love open source, and we have a GitHub that you can go to and check out everything that we have already been open sourcing there. While we make things and make new tools, there's a lot of little things that we can open source and we have put onto our GitHub. I think actually a later question talks about this a little bit too, that JJ answers. So go to our GitHub. You'll see whatever that we can open source, we will put there as soon as we can. We really want to embrace sharing as much as we can. Although not much of it will be applicable to the SDK, we will be sharing everything else that we can.
Fippo Sniffle asks, will Portal 2 Community Edition allow in some form for mods to make their own achievements? Similarly, will you allow people to post community challenges on the workshop?
Sorry, I think I answered this. I guess it's already possible without P2C. Maybe I didn't answer this, but somebody wrote, it's already possible without P2C. Look at other Portal 2 mods that have achievements. Not sure what you mean about community challenge. I assume what they mean by community challenge is just like, I don't know, a featured map that is challenging or something on the workshop. And to kind of expand into that, the workshop's going to have featured maps and stuff. We're planning on kind of having a sort of curated workshop, not actually curated in Steam's terms, but manually curated basically. So what we're going to have is when you start the game, you'll have some featured content, featured map pack or map or other mod, and you'll be able to. It's just going to be featured basically, and we'll cycle those out every so often.
And I want to make quick mention on the curated thing. There'll be what the idea is. There'll be a certain set of hand-picked curators, preferably unbiased. So we don't want to just prioritize only good-looking maps or only good-looking puzzles. If you make a map that has a genuinely interesting concept to it, say you make something that uses the Schrodinger's cube and adhesion gel in a really unique way, but the visuals are a little subpar, you would still have a chance at getting curated.
And I just got clarification what community challenge means. They mean community challenge as in do this in 5 minutes in triple laser or something, like a community-made pseudo achievement. I mean, there's no plans for that right now, but it does sound like an interesting concept, like, I don't know, break triple laser in like 60 seconds or something. That sounds kind of fun, like a sort of challenge mode thing. So maybe we can look into doing that in the future. It's an interesting idea.
Okay, next question. It's Me Duck asks, will there be a way to create custom gels? And Zainlove Alexander asks, will there be a possibility to create custom gels in Portal 2 Community Edition? Something like empty gel slots / variations, or only 5 gels?
Yes. I mean, there was already some experiments screwed around making custom gels. Yeah, we're going to be supporting as much customization as we can.
Okay. Dabman, great name, asks, will players be able to customize the portal gun?
Yes. In that same kind of message that we had earlier about talking about customization and so on and so forth. And I'm reading someone else's answer. Someone says, yes, you can already do that in regular Portal 2. We have far out plans for picking and customizing stuff in menus. So yeah, in base Portal 2, you can have custom texture files and replace your current existing texture files, but we want to provide systems and ways for you to have custom portal guns and so on and so forth within P2C itself. Some kind of supported method to do these kinds of things.
I do think that also if we're going to have multiplayer with, even just regular co-op, this would be sort of useful, but especially if we support multiplayer with higher player caps, the ability for you to have your custom portal gun skin and then a way for other players to see that.
No promises though. No promises.
Yeah, this is not we're not making any promises here, but this is something which I personally have said many times would be a useful, I guess, way of implementing this. And, it would probably work kind of like how sprays are in, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, where you can, set your spray in the options menu, except instead it would be, import custom portal gun texture or whatever.
Yay!
Okay.
Next question.
Fiffle Sniffle asks, do you plan to add gel-covered skins for adhesion and reflection gel? What about other objects? Is it possible to overlay gel-covered textures onto any object, so you don't need to make a special skin for every object?
The plan has been to do that with a material proxy, although I'm not sure what the status of that is, since I'm not on the code side of things.
Planned, down the line, something fun for later. Or, JJ is saying, I thought that was done already. Oh!
I don't know, actually, but I could be
It's not
misremembering.
in releases, I don't think, but I definitely remember someone working on it, so maybe it just never got finished.
We might have some stuff internally for that then.
Actually, I know what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the portal material proxies, or portal color material proxies.
Okay.
I think that was to recolor particles, or just, the particles, I think was. Anyways.
Regardless, planned. Also, I see people saying, why is this always the same person asking the same question? Because you're not in our Discord. Get in, join. Go to the description, join our Discord.
Join the
It's fun.
Discord and out-question
Ask some
Fiffle
questions
Sniffle.
yourself. Yeah. If
Out-question
you're
Fiffle
saying,
Sniffle.
if you're saying, how come it's the same people over and over? Come on, join in. Also, our Discord server is currently 2,000 people. It's actually more, I think, at this point. Discord server is at, and I know I'm interrupting what we are currently doing, but this is something
It's going
fun.
really fast.
Yeah, we have actually got a lot of members as of late.
We
I'm trying
have
to find
2,162.
2,162 members. Hey! Yeah, a few more than a couple hundred. Come join. Ask questions. Give us some more. For next
Come join.
Q&A.
Come join and be the lucky 2,169th member. You won't
There's a
receive
lot of people-
anything.
There's a lot of people that are very active in any given community, so if you see a lot of questions from certain people, that is because that person has a lot of questions. That person is very passionate about their questions, and they want to ask a bunch of them. And some people asked a question in the format of like, bullet point 1, this question, bullet point 2, this question, bullet point 3, this question. And when formatting this slideshow, I took those types of questions and I broke them apart and I put them into multiple slides so that it would be easier to address each individual question. So sometimes this was one message that got broken up into multiple slides. So if you see the same person over and over, that might be why.
Okay.
Join the Discord! Yay!
Yay. So next up is the tools. Trico Everfire asks, like VTEX 2, do you lads plan to make more open source tools?
I guess I'll read for Craftable. Yeah, okay. Every aspect of P2C is as open source as it can be. Obviously, we're bound by the NDA, so we can't open source that much. So, yeah, we can't show code publicly or anything. But anyone who has a sourced NDA is free to browse and use our code. So these are people who are licensed, who have signed an agreement with Valve, the same agreement that we signed. They can be given access to our code. So that's like, they can join Chaos and, work our engine, use our code, whatever. Recently P2C's Panorama was open sourced, so the XML layouts and JavaScript and, other things, that stuff that isn't under NDA was open sourced on GitHub. And we're continuing all of our work there. We also open sourced VTEX 2, which is an all-in-one replacement to VTEX, VTEX being Source's Valve texture format compiler. It's kind of icky, so I opted to completely rewrite it, and I opted to rewrite it using VTFlib, which is an open source VTF thing, library. And we of course added support for our engine-specific extensions like the deflate compression, deflate being lossless compression for files. And we're also adding support for BC6H and BC7, which are different block compression formats. And we're adding that support to VTFlib as well as our engine. So yeah, and I guess to get back to the original question, there will be more open source tools made and shipped in the future. I'm thinking of something like a sound script editor, which doesn't actually necessarily need to be integrated deeply within the engine. We're going to provide a remote control interface, or a message passing interface, I think is a better term. So effectively, you'll be able to remotely kind of control the engine when the engine is running in tools mode. So you can have a tool that connects to the engine and it says, okay, please preview this sound script. So we can have a sound script editor that is totally external, and it can send sound script changes to the engine, and then it can ask to preview and then stop previewing sound scripts and whatever. That's just a concept. I definitely want to work on that. We'll see where it goes. Also, VTFlib, I should note, it's not ours. It's our VTFlib is a fork of a VTFlib fork of a VTFlib fork. So Josh, which is one of the developers for Desolation, added support for AMD Compressinator to VTFlib. Long story short, VTFlib is in ours. It's like 99% code from other individuals in the community who have done a fantastic job on that. So just want to note that. So anyways, we will continue to share as much code as we legally can. So yeah, you'll see a lot more open source stuff from us. And yeah.
Yep. Next question from Fiffle Sniffle yet again. Will Tools Mode get QT? Are there any changes you plan to make regarding the particle editor, adding functions, features, etc.?
I guess I'll take this one again because Aaron isn't here. But Aaron says Tools Mode to be ported to Qt because VGUI sucks to work with. On top of that, I'm planning to maybe move the tools in a direction similar to Source 2 in terms of the layout and functionality. purely because they are more refined than what we have in Source 2 currently, or Source 1 currently, rather. So yeah, a long story short, Tools mode will eventually be getting Qt. That is a after 1.0 release goal. So things like the particle editor, we'll be getting it. There is a material editor as well, which is kind of jank. We definitely want to, revisit that and improve it, and of course port it to Qt. We might just completely rewrite it. I've written a model browser tool, or I've written an asset browser tool, and a model viewer tool, which is to replace Half-Life Model Viewer. So basically, all of the GUI tools will eventually be getting Qt, with exception to maybe Face Poser, because it's just not Face Poser. I don't know. I don't think that many people use it, even though I think it is important for like VCD scenes and stuff. But that's kind of like a low priority because it's also a ton of code. Eventually we'll port it, I guess. But
since we have working human NPCs, it might be worth supporting. Although I've still yet to see anyone actually use it for P2CE besides just I guess building scenes.image, which we don't even require anymore anyway.
Yeah, we don't need that.
If there is demand, we can deliver.
Yeah, it's just low priority, I guess. Eventually, maybe we'll do it. Who knows?
Yep.
And I forgot to address the second one. Are there any changes you plan to make regarding the particle editor, adding functions, features, etc.? It's going to be more refined. Maybe we'll add more like particle operators as necessary or as requested from the community. I think Source's particle system is pretty robust and solid. It's got like pretty much everything you need. But yeah.
Okay, next question from Indirect. Are there any plans on GPU accelerated VRAD or accelerating it using RT cores?
Hey, so not today, not tomorrow. It would be neat, but it's really not a priority for us, like whatsoever at all. Making improvements to existing VRAD, speeding it up, etc., is a lot more important to us, though. That's stuff that we want to do. The main problem with GPU acceleration is that some of this stuff is really platform specific. Think like NVIDIA versus AMD, and like Intel integrated GPUs, and now Intel's new GPUs. All of this stuff behaves a tiny bit different from each other, and it's just more effort than's really worth if we can just make normal VRAD faster. All computers have CPUs, and these CPUs are very consistent from one to another. So regardless to whatever efforts that we make to GPU accelerated VRAD, old CPU VRAD would have to be there forever, just because there's some people that aren't going to have good GPUs, or just literally are trying to make let's say a build server where they don't have a GPU in it and they just want it to be CPU only. They can't afford another GPU for that little server of theirs, right? So CPU VRAD will always be our priority, and we're just going to be working on making that faster itself, because that is what's going to work everywhere.
Yeah, and to add on to that, there is a GPU VRAD that exists already. It's called SilkRAD. It actually isn't built inside of Source at all. It's like completely external. It's open source, and it's a cool project. But performance-wise, it's actually a little bit slower than VRAD with some of the performance improvements that people have implemented on the SDK. Like, there are a couple issues with VRAD on the SDK that were very easy to fix, and I guess they kind of improved performance beyond what SilkRAD could offer. So it might not be worth it. I know Valve is definitely going to, I think they use RTX maybe, or they use GPU acceleration maybe in Source 2 for VRAD 3, something like that. But they have much higher resolution light maps or photon maps, whatever they're called, compared to us. So, and yeah, there's like a lot of performance improvements we can make. We already implemented some. For example, there was some random number generator code that was very slow, and when you had an ambient occlusion enabled, it would just slow the compile down insanely. So implementing a quick fix by just having like a pre-computed table of random numbers, basically, we ended up improving performance by, I think we doubled performance actually, cut compilation times in half on final release builds with that, or close to half, or something like that. So it's, there's a lot of other things we can improve though. For example, like in Hammer++, there is a stripped down version of VRAD that is highly optimized, and it can give, relatively accurate lighting previews for the entire map very, very quickly. And that's pretty much done by, once again, stripping out unused code from VRAD, and also preventing like pointer chasing, which is basically causes cache misses. Like, this is technical jargon, but by increasing data locality and reducing cache misses, performance in VRAD is able to be increased significantly. So that's something that we're going to be looking towards doing.
You want us to do GPU VRAD? Send me one of those big GPUs.
Yes,
Hand it over.
definitely. And actually, another thing to add on to this, in the future there will be lighting changes that will decrease our dependence on VRAD. So that's another thing to keep in mind.
I look forward to that day whenever it shall arrive.
Yay!
But the next question from Pivotman319, do you have plans on providing a fully fledged SDK for Portal 2 Community Edition, much like what was provided with Swarm in SDK 2013? Example, Portal 2 base game source code, authoring tools such as HLMV/Hammer. Will programmers be able to create their own custom engine tools for Portal 2 Community Edition, the likes of PET and ComEdit?
So, I'm getting a little tired. So this kind of goes off the earlier stuff where we were talking about NDA and etc. etc. We can't provide a fully fledged SDK like Swarm or 2013 or whatever, because we just can't. Valve allows us to make P2CE and use the source code to Portal 2 and CSGO with the hard restriction: we must never share the source code. This isn't a soft maybe, or an in the future maybe we'll have an SDK with all the code. No, we can absolutely never share the code for P2CE with people who are not under NDA. If you have an NDA, if you signed an agreement, you put your pen to the paper, not really a pen to paper, it's like a finger to a digital screen, whatever. Then yeah, okay, cool, you're okayed by Valve, right? But otherwise we can't. So to make up that, we're making CScript, and it's gonna have AngelScript, and it's gonna let you make whatever you want to do with P2CE, just kind of like how Garrys Mod is Lua, right? Or G-Lua, because it's Garrys Mod edition or whatever, right? Custom in-game tools, so yeah, you're gonna be able to make those easy peasy using Panorama and CScript and JavaScript and all those little systems together. How we get all that out to you and how that's gonna come to you and how we're gonna enable everyone to make cool stuff is something that is coming. It's not here yet, but plans, right?
Okay, so is that all the questions answered?
There's a whole bunch more.
There's more questions. Yeah, we're only at 66 of 86.
Okay, I meant from Pivotman here, but...
Oh, from Pivotman. Oh, is that... Well, yeah, I think it was, right? Create their own custom engine. Yeah.
Okay. Next is from Trico Everfire. Will tools like FacePoser be improved or replaced? It's one of the most powerful tools besides Hammer, and yet almost no one knows how to use it. It's half the game besides the maps and gameplay, so it'd be nice to see it overhauled, improved, and documented.
Aaron said that they want to do stuff with FacePoser, but like JJ said earlier, if people really want us to do stuff with FacePoser, then sure. But if it's just like there's like very little demand overall, and it's just like, oh, FacePoser would be kind of neat. It's not going to be a huge priority for us. FacePoser is there. You can use it if you want to do whatever, but we don't have any explicit plans for it at the moment. Future stuff, maybe. Right now, it's FacePoser.
It's a pretty huge application, so it's not like a something we can do in a weekend or.
And it's tied into a bunch of Windows garbage.
Oh god, yeah, I don't even think it's going to be possible then, unless we like totally rewrite it.
Well, yeah, because it's using MXTK or whatever it's called again, the special 90s framework that was used.
But I mean the speech API, right?
Speech API as well, yeah.
That's
honestly,
the big one. I don't know how to replace that.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Okay, next question is for the workshop. Fiffle Sniffle, the most reoccurring question person on here, asks, what kinds of items will you allow on the workshop? Examples, assets, maps, map packs, etc.
Craftable says, the workshop will have assets, maps, map packs, really anything that can go into a source mod. By the way, this includes things that you can't pack into a BSP normally, like custom videos. We're going to let you ship just about like anything. If you want to put your whole mod in the workshop, go ahead. We're going to give you all the ability that is possible.
Although, since we're not using Bink anymore, packing videos into maps might work anyway.
Well, you can just pack it.
I've never tried it.
Yeah, you can just pack whatever you want into maps.
No, I mean packing videos
maps,
into
but into-
BSPs.
I don't think that's possible because the video library does not use the source file system. I'm in the process of rewriting that, or I was, and then I got distracted. But there's like a million other things to do. But yes, that's going to get replaced and fixed. So
The idea there, though, is that you can pack like more than one BSP, or you can pack 4 BSPs. You can pack like basically a source mod, put it on the workshop. Is the goal. Not that explicitly, you can put a video file into a BSP now. It's that you can put everything onto the workshop and we're going to mount it and it's going to let you play it.
Okay, next question is from Rit Bilar. Will there be a full workshop support with custom models, weapons, NPCs, and others?
yes, of course. Pretty much, yeah. I don't know what you mean by custom or by NPCs and like custom models. I mean, I guess like you can upload a mod or you can upload a workshop add-on with those things. I mean, yeah. There's not going to be a specific category for like NPCs and custom models. I think we'll have like a category for asset packs or something like that. But anyways, like you can upload whatever and your model will be mounted in game. Obviously, there's like some limits. We don't want you to upload like executables or like DLLs or anything because that's unsafe. So there's that. You can't upload anything. But one of the things I'd like to say though is we really want to avoid dependency hell. What I mean by that is like in Gmod, you have a million add-ons, and a lot of the add-ons like to depend on each other, which is perfectly fine. But when you have like 4K like portal gun reskin and like 4K portal texture pack and like a whole bunch of these things, and then you try to join a server that uses those things, now you have to download them, which is kind of horrible. So in Gmod's notorious for I'm gonna join a sandbox server or a dark RP server, and you do that and it takes like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes to download all the stuff, and then you can finally join. So like we kind of want to avoid that, and like Face Punch's new game Sandbox is also trying to avoid that using a really different system. But I think we're going to try to encourage larger mods, so like large asset packs will be fine, or map packs or something. But we don't want like 4K portal gun reskin and then like improved sounds and like all of this kind of stuff separate, because then it kind of creates a dependency web that's very annoying to deal with. But yeah, we'll have full workshop support with various categories, map packs, maps, and then of course asset packs. But we're going to try to discourage very, very small add-ons that do like one thing only, because it's just a pain to manage, basically.
Okay. Next question is from Fiffle Sniffle. Do you plan on changing/improving the workshop upload UI with a Qt interface?
So yeah, in game we'll be using a Panorama interface. Panorama, of course, being our new UI framework, or not our new UI framework, but the new UI framework that from Valve that we are using. The in-game one will, of course, be with Panorama. There will also be a command line utility to upload workshop maps, and we want to provide that so you can have like continuous integration, for example, for more technical people. You can have like your add-on uploaded to GitHub, and you can have a continuous integration pipeline that'll automatically package and update your add-on, basically. So we want to provide a command line interface. If there's enough demand for like an external GUI that isn't in-game, yeah, it'll be made using Qt, but I don't know if I'm going to do that. It probably wouldn't be very difficult to make, though. So.
Okay, next question is by Xenox. Do you/will you be supporting workshop content or mods?
Yes! I mean, like we were just talking about, right? Like for these past 3 slides. Great workshop support is something that's very, very important for us. We want to make enjoying Portal content as easy as possible. Our plan is to support mods releasing on P2Ce's workshop as well as on Steam or whatever using P2CE. If as far as I recall. Source mods folder sucks. If you want to do source mods folder, sure, you can still do that with P2CE, but workshop is great. It's super easy. You just go in there and you click subscribed. So we want to make it super simple for you to do mod making and putting things on the workshop. Yes.
Okay, next question from Samuel Hamuel. Will there be something similar to a mod manager, or even something like playlists for map packs?
Yep. That's what. Oh, I'd have to sneeze. Oh no. I'm gonna try to say this without sneezing. It was hard. Sorry.
Hot on 4K.
What?
Hot on 4K.
Yeah. I reached over to try to mute the mic and I sneezed midway, and I missed, and my whole body and went downward, and I couldn't click mute in time. So the goal is to have something like a mod manager or a playlist or something like that for map packs. Ways for you to easier be able to access and play and enjoy Portal content. Anything that we can do to make it more easy to enjoy awesome Portal content is something that we want to do. And so something like a playlist is part of that. Yep. All right, next question.
Next question. Ingrium. In general, pre-rendered video files, BIC, WebM, whichever format you choose to use, are not packed within VPK files in order to improve disk streaming. Will this be the case in Portal 2 Community Edition? If so, will it be possible to include custom videos with workshop maps?
First of all, I'd like to apologize. My answer for this was originally wrong. I just remembered. The WebMs need to be loaded. I'm pretty sure they are loaded by the video library that Valve made. It's in CSGO. And that uses the normal file system, so they can't be packed in maps. But that will be changing, so yeah.
Okay, next question is from Ada. Will custom subtitle packing be worked on? I know they can already be packed, but the main hurdle here is that the vanilla subtitles and custom subtitles don't merge, but the custom ones would try to override the vanilla ones, a problem mentioned 2 years ago back in the Portal 2 Community Edition GitHub issue number 264.
Thank you for being very specific. If the issue's open, we'll work on it. Yeah.
Okay, next question that's now onto the MISC. Fipple Snipple, are MP3 files still janky with ambient generic control and specific bitrate? Will this be fixed/changed similarly to the BIC WebM change?
I'm not aware of issues with specifically MP3 files. you should be using sound scripts basically with ambient generic as well instead of playing sound files directly. And I'm not that if there's issues with that, that would be in the engine sound system, I guess. But ambient generic is known to be very buggy in general, not just with like NPCs or MP3s. I mean, sorry, it's known to be very buggy. So I don't know if we're gonna specifically fix all the bugs, because that might also break backwards compatibility in some cases, because maps unknowingly depend on bugs. But I mean, yeah, we'll either fix ambient generic completely or we'll offer new sound entities to use.
Ambient generic in stock source is incredibly buggy. I think its Valve developer community page has like more bug tags than any other single page.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Okay, next page. Ness asks, will have Mac OS and Steam Deck support?
Show the next slide, has a picture. It's
Yes.
kind of a bad picture in a way because the video is kind of ghosty, but it works on Steam Deck fine. That's my Steam Deck. It's very, very cool. Because Steam Deck is just Linux. OS X support is still up in the air. We probably could support that fairly easily, because we build in 64-bit, and I think the new ARM Macs can translate, or they can still run 64-bit applications. But yeah.
Who's sending us one of those fancy M1 MacBooks, or I guess M2 now?
Yeah, it's highly unlikely that it will have Mac support. I'm not saying it's.
I've got a 2012 MacBook Pro.
That'll work great for debugging ARM support.
Oh boy, OpenGL 4.1.
Yes.
I can't wait.
Very useful.
Next question. Samuel Hamuel asks, do you have plans to include support for the 6th Sense motion packs? And Blue X3 asks, will it feature the 6th Sense contents that wasn't shown for years?
Craftable says, these items are ultimately not worth implementing. We have no way of getting the original 6th Sense code, and no one on the team has ever even played the 6th Sense content. Perhaps 6th Sense features could be re-implemented by community members using P2CE features such as CScript, but we're not supporting ancient dead hardware, and taking the hardware out of the problem makes it feasible to implement in scripting. So if you want to try and give it a shot and make your own 6th Sense stuff in normal Portal, go ahead. As for us, no.
Now, if we add VR support to P2CE, that might be different, but I'm not
No.
promoting VR support.
That
No.
would be cool.
That is
but,
a very low priority, far distant thing that a programmer does if they are bored.
Even if we had VR support, probably still no to 6th Sense.
Probably, yeah. Would make the community jobs easier.
Well,
I suppose,
it'd
but,
make
like,
more sense in that case if you already have motion-tracked controllers that
Even
aren't
then, the entirety of
a
doing VR
discontinued
is
piece of hardware.
even then, it's doing VR itself is huge.
Hey,
Let's go to the next one.
Next one, only 6 slides left. Samuel Hamill asks, will Portal 2 Community Edition include Education Edition mechanics?
Craftable writes, the only thing Education Edition really has that P2CE doesn't is the contraption cube. Will we be adding that as a dedicated entity? No. But VScript can already change the friction and mass of physics objects, so you only really need to create a custom VScript to emulate contraption cubes in P2CE already. Yay, go wild. Or Luke says, I don't think it can. Well, if it can't, then guess what? CScript will. So it doesn't matter. Either way you go about it, any way you want it, it's gonna work, because CScript or VScript or whatever. We're gonna enable you to make whatever you want. Oh, Craftable says, I'm quoting Craftable, map-based can change mass, we can already change friction, deal with it. So, yeah, you can do it with VScript, have fun.
Should be easy
Okay.
to add the mass function anyways.
Yeah. I mean, this stuff is like probably like a 2-line change if we're missing that.
Okay, next question. Fiffle Sniffle, will any improvements be made to the sound system? Any directional improvements like what Fmod does? Pitch changing when you get further, muffling, etc.
So pitch modification isn't possible currently, as far as I'm aware. Muffling can be done by making your sound use HRTF, which I guess HRTF being it's a spatialization thing basically, and HRTF sounds in Source use Steam Audio. So you can also enable like occlusion if you enable HRTF on your sounds, like ray traced occlusion, not like full ray trace occlusion, but more like it'll do a game trace between the listener and the sound source, and it'll determine the material and apply muffling effects based on that, based on the surface properties. Actually, this was added with CSGO, so that's something we got from CSGO.
HRTF, hunt round the Freeman.
Oh god. Yeah, but long story short, there's new sound features from CSGO which are pretty great, and we're using them, and you can use them. And with Portal 2, of course, the engine got a hugely improved sound system. They implemented something called sound operator stacks, which are effectively kind of like a dynamic sound changing thing. You know, you can like adjust parameters of the sound based on the distance of the listener from the sound, and stuff like that. In CSGO, they added, of course, a occlusion operator, and that comes with, or that's for Steam Audio sounds, basically. But there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that, and like the dynamic music in Source, for example, or in Portal 2 rather, that's all done with the new sound system. And this system was eventually, or not eventually, it kind of was brought into Source 2 as well. Source 2 uses kind of the same system, maybe with some new operators and stuff. But yeah, long story short, the sound system in Portal 2 was hugely upgraded, and Fmod is something that we've definitely looked at. It's kind of like not planned because the sound system is very good in Portal 2, and integrating it into the engine would be pretty difficult, I think, especially working around sound operator stacks and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to say, we're not going to add Fmod, of course, but directional improvements, like was mentioned in this, that can actually be done with Steam Audio. That's something that, I might add a sound operator for. And there's some other things that Steam Audio does. Steam Audio does like fully ray traced sound and stuff. That's something that we've looked into. I don't know if that's ever going to be implemented. It'd be kind of cool, but there's a lot of stuff that we can still add. But yeah, no Fmod or anything like that.
Okay, next slide. Joshua Chris asks, would it be interesting if it at least had basic VR support? Cruff asks, will there be a VR support if possible? And Leaf asks, would it be possible to have native VR?
It would be cool, like I said earlier, but it's really not a priority. And it would only ever happen post-release if it does, and it would have to be someone gets really bored and has a VR headset that works nicely and a lot of time. It would be fun, don't get me wrong, but it's really not a priority for us.
I have a good headset. I think Aaron does too.
Oh, no. We gotta release PTCE first.
Yeah, my free time is going away as we speak.
Oh.
Okay, next question. Oh, a lot is here. So, Yura Super asks, is Puzzle Maker being worked on? If so, what progress has been made? How many features will it have compared to Portal 2 Puzzle Maker, B2.4 Puzzle Maker, Hammer? Jacques asks, will there be a level editor? If so, will it be similar to the in-game one, or the Hammer editor? It's Me Duck asks, will Portal 2 Community Edition have a puzzle maker similar to Portal 2's, or will it look completely different? If there will be a puzzle maker. And It's Me Duck asks, again, will there even be a puzzle maker?
So, Puzzle Maker. We don't have the source code to it. Valve does not include Puzzle Maker source code as part of Portal 2's codebase. So we don't have any of the code for it. So anything that we do with Puzzle Maker means that we have to work entirely from scratch. Puzzle Maker is super cool and very important to us. It's something that we want to make sure that we have eventually, but it's not something that's going to come today, tomorrow, next week, next Thursday, next month, whatever, right? It's going to be something in the future. It'd be fun. The goal of our Puzzle Maker is to be modular and enable more things, just as all of P2C has, right? The whole goal of it is to enable more and more and more. What else was written here? We won't ship with like a bunch of like B2 features, like our packages or etc. Right? We're not going to be like B2 compatible or anything fun like that, because it's going to be its own thing. Where it's just going to be something that we're going to enable. It's probably going to work with our features, our systems, all of the stuff that we're going to be making. So it's going to be a bit of an ecosystem of its own, but hopefully the goal is make something super awesome. Post-release, yeah, like Craft was saying, with Puzzle Maker. But it just won't be something that will happen for a while. It's important to us, but it won't be for a while.
Okay, next slide. Pasha Ruski Bonderov asks, will there be a Russian language in Portal 2 Community Edition? And Body Akhod asks, will there be a Ukrainian language added?
We're open to any language, any localization, any language you want to have. If translators are around and people want to make translations, go ahead. You want to localize P2C because you know some language? Awesome. Go do it. Have fun. It's just a matter of if people are interested in doing it. We're likely to enable more localization features and systems in the future, but that's not coming for a little while. We're still in beta. We're still working out stuff. We're still making the strings that need to be translated. And so while we're in such a high iteration phase, we're not localizing anything right now. Like one question goes from wow, it's Kaylee. What are P2C's current localizations? English. What Portal 2 itself supports, we support as well, but any new features that we add don't inherently have localization yet. So, like, if you run the game and you interact with stuff that is, made for normal Portal 2, that can be localized to your own language. But anything new is going to be in English for the time being until later. We have plans to localize, just not yet. It's important to us, though.
Okay. Second last slide. Samuel Hamill asks how many, if any, of speedrunning glitches will be patched or not ported over. Things like the crouch fly glitch.
Every glitch that we can find, we want to patch. Unless this glitch is some kind of expected behavior and it's required for other things to work. But fear not, speedrunner glitches are going to be kept safe under Convar. So if you're a speedrunner and you want to be speedrunning with a specific glitch, we'll enable you to switch on that Convar and go run around with, I don't know, some problem that would normally be game breaking but you enjoy. So if you want to play P2C like a speedrunner, you can switch to a speedrunner config and get back to high speed acceleration, moving fast, flying through levels. But for your standard player, it's going to be hopefully less buggy.
Yeah. And the final
you play
question,
like you want to.
Yep. And the final question from Trico Everfire asks, will there be teasers leading up to release? Or updates for that matter. They're fun and kind of show off what's coming without it needing to be ready. I know in the past telling people about stuff without providing that stuff has led to negative effects, but more for the stuff you guys have ready that just ironing out the kinks it may have. Teasers are fun if done right. That last part made no sense to me. I don't know if I just can't read or if it's slightly.
I don't know. Let me read it again. But more. For the stuff you guys have ready, just I don't know. JJ?
Oh, I was gonna say, I think they mean, like, show the stuff that's, like, ironed out or whatever.
I mean, that's kind of what this whole showcase was earlier today. We're not that we're leading up to release. No. But we want to show stuff. We want to be a little more transparent. We want to engage you all and see what you think of cool stuff. Let us know what you think of, like, what you saw today. As for teasers, like, would be fun. We'll see when we get there. It's likely that we'll be pretty open during the entirety of release, but as to how it'll go, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's all of the slides. We've come to the end.
Yay!
Should we answer some questions in chat for like 5 minutes?
Yeah, do you guys want to interact with chat, and then Ace, do you want to send out some keys quick?
Yeah, well, it won't be necessarily quick, but
Well, yeah, no, it's going to be
once
a painful and
yeah.
arduous process.
Yes, but once we're done answering questions, is when those who have been accepted will start receiving their keys over the course of maybe like, I don't know, an hour or something.
Well, yeah, well, do we want to start just handing those out because it's not required for us to read chat while
That's true.
JJ or other takes a look?
What? I'm sorry, I zoned out.
Do you want to read some questions from the chat, and we're going to hand out some keys quick?
How do you know if how do you know if you're accepted? Well, you do /check in the bot channel in the Discord, and it will tell you the status of your application. Okay, another one. Does P2C support config files for map backgrounds instead of video backgrounds? Ha! That's a great question. Guess what I just PR'd like earlier this week? I think it was earlier this week. No, it was last week. Basically, yeah, we're going to have support for map backgrounds as well. I just kind of fixed that support up and stuff. Black Mesa like dynamic lighting? Question mark? Is it everybody dead here?
I'm around.
I'm focusing on doing the keys.
I'm sending out keys. Yeah, sorry.
What I will say about the lighting system is, yes, there's a lot of changes coming to it. I don't really know much about Black Mesa's lighting system. I think it's still like a forward renderer with CSM or something like that. But yes, there will be pretty big changes coming to the lighting system. Someone asks, will there be a built-in speedrun timer? Yes, that is definitely something we're going to do.
Yeah, we got like a whole bunch of speedrunners on our team.
Yep. We have a key press HUD that's pretty basic and kind of not the best because it only shows in the actual HUD. So if you go like press escape, it will go away. But anyways, what is the P2C dev team looking for with beta testing?
Bugs.
Yeah.
Give us bugs.
Knowledge to use the tools we have available. If you're just a normal player, you're not going to be particularly very useful because there's not a lot to do in just a normal game.
Yep. Okay. Has the animation system been reworked in Chaos? No. Are we planning on doing that? Anyone?
As far as I'm concerned, not particularly. Like, if there's something that needs it, like if it comes up or like, oh man, we need new animation stuff to do this cool plan of ours, then sure. Otherwise, I mean, is there anything that needs to change? I don't know. I mean, it's not cool and modern and fancy. If people have specific plans, they can make a issue on our GitHub and they can say, hey, I need some new features out of the animation system because it sucks bad. Then yeah, go ahead and make a issue on our GitHub. Let us know what you think new animation systems need. Otherwise, not particularly planned.
Okay. And then someone asks, mind explaining the light changes? No, that's for a future showcase.
We gotta leave some surprises, otherwise,
Exactly, we can't just give all these things up,
Like, what, do you expect me to tell you the overarching story of the campaign? Like, I'm not telling that.
Overarching story, someone stole Andy's shoe. Who did it?
Who did it?
Yep.
Yeah, you have to.
It's a
you
pretty
have to figure
crazy
it out.
story. Someone said, I noticed on the P2C application that you were looking for a sound designer. How much new music and sounds is planned to be added? Okay, so I think I actually need to update the team application. I'm not sure if we need another sound designer or not. But as for new music, there was several tracks that were made for the showcase. And I think a track that was made for the live or for the QnA as well. I don't know. But we're planning to add, quite a bit new music. As for sounds, I mean, we'll add new sounds as needed. I don't really think there's a concrete plan for how many that need to be added. And then someone else says, how do I resolve my application not showing in the bot? I checked my key status and it says my application doesn't exist. So this is a public service announcement for everybody who has ever submitted a key application. Make sure it is your full Discord ID, your Discord name, the pound sign, and then the 4 numbers. You need all of that. Otherwise, we can't find you.
Yeah, like I'm currently looking at a key app that got accepted, and I can't give them their app because they changed the name.
I have the same problem. There's a name of like some CZ Martin person, right? And they can't find him in the Discord, so
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with that.
Mine is Distant Jetlines. So sorry if you are Distant Jetlines. You changed your name and now I can't find you.
Yeah, if you have changed your name, just resubmit your key application. The latest key application will be the one that gets reviewed. And if the bot says your key application doesn't exist and you have submitted it, it probably means that you have not submitted your full Discord ID. That or there's a bug with the bot, who knows?
Yeah, well, you could have changed your name or whatever, right? If you changed your name, the bot doesn't know that you exist anymore. It's currently a failure of our system. We're working it out. We're improving it. But if you're missing your name, you gotta let us know. Send Ace or I a DM if you're currently watching the stream and you changed your name and you're like, oh no, or submit a new, application.
Also, Craftable says it might also be that you submitted the application in the last 12 hours. I guess I forgot. It only queries that every so often, and I guess caches the result. So ideally, you'll see it in 12 hours. Also, Trico, no, that is not a hashtag. That is a pound sign. I'm not going to go on record as saying hashtag, even though I just said it twice.
This is so sad. I've hit 3 people so far that changed their usernames.
Also, for other people who are saying, what happens if we have not been checked yet? I assume you mean the key app. We'll eventually check it in the future, and
this is great.
then once you get accepted, we will give you a key.
I came across someone. I need to be friends with this person to send them a key.
Ouch.
Oh, that is another problem. Yeah.
Ping them in the server and say, hey, I can't DM you your key.
Just
Here's
post
your
it on the channel. No. Someone asks, will there be a way to combine laser colors to a new one?
That's not part of the laser color plan. I mean, you could do that like VScript or something if you want to try. That's not part of the current gameplay plans.
Yeah, it's not part of our plans. Ace, will Wallace Wrench make an appearance in the P2C campaign? I need to know.
No, but I could maybe look into getting a model out of him or something and just sneaking him in somewhere.
All right. Another question. Is the base playable character a human or robot or bendy, and do they have a name? They are a robot.
They are robots. They are the co-op robots, and you can choose which one you want to play as. And you can switch out, I believe the idea, you can switch out mid-game. Like mid-playing.
Someone else asks, when a mod requires a mount to, for example, infra, does the downloader of the mod need to own the game? Yeah, so to mount a game, you need to have it, you need to own it, and it needs to be installed. We use dynamic lookups basically by app ID, so you do need to have mounted games installed and owned. Unless there's ways to work around that. Like, you can mount content, or you can mount VPKs manually and stuff, but it's really not recommended, obviously, to pirate games. So not gonna say pirate games live. Sorry. Don't do that. It's bad, I guess. Will features akin to Portal Reloaded's third portal and thinking with Time Machine's Time Machine be possible with CScript? Yes. I mean, the Portal Reloaded portal was already possible in base game, actually, because, you know, it's done in a very interesting way by, I think, abusing linkage IDs or something like that. Let's see. Okay, now we have arguments about the pound sign again. Yes, somebody agrees with me. Hashtag is only what people call it because of Twitter. See?
True.
The pound sign has always been called the pound sign since the days of landline telephones. Does
But I ruined
anybody here know what a landline telephone is, or a rotary phone?
Yes.
I've used one. I'm a boomer, I guess.
Oh no.
It's a pound sign. When are the applications reviewed after this Steam review? So applications are reviewed kind of whenever we want to review them. We don't accept that many normally, you know, we accept like a few every week or less, or something along those lines. And the idea is we want to have a slow trickle of new beta testers so that we're not overwhelmed. So it could be a while before, you know, your application is reviewed or accepted or denied. So will there be split screen support? And if so, how many splits until max? So split screen is only one split. I don't think there's any point in going higher than that. And also split screen might not be necessary for us to include in the final game because, well, you know, I don't know how many people even use split screen on PC especially. And there's also some difficulty with like HUD stuff for Panorama. I mean, it's not necessarily super difficult to resolve, but it's like an annoyance that we have to deal with. And so, you know, we might not really officially support split screen that well. Someone else asks, will there be updates for dynamic projected entities and moving portals as seen in 6th Sense? Someone want to talk about that?
What?
Will there be
What was
any
the
updates for dynamic projected entities and moving portals as seen in 6th Sense?
Craftable, do you have any?
I mean, it's no, but I wanted someone else to talk.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you've talked a lot. Sorry, JJ. I mean, maybe moving portals would make it work again. I don't. Did we make it work again? I don't
It
recall.
worked fine. I mean,
It
there's
worked fine?
physics stuff.
Okay.
I mean, they work
Yeah, they
the
work
same
fine.
as in Portal 2, just when you get near the portal, it might suck you into it if it's moving.
Craftable says we have
So-
moving portal physics. It's jank though.
Yeah, I mean that's in base portal.
Yeah. We could
Probably.
try and look into that maybe if I don't know.
Then there's the whole argument of how they would behave, so maybe not.
Not supported. Something fun that you can try to do if you want to.
What do you mean how they behave? Like if a portal is moving toward an object thing?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean if you were implementing proper moving portal support, just have it where the object comes flying out of the other end because it's just more fun that way.
Okay. Alright, so next question. So if I wanted to make a sandbox testing game mode, I could. Not saying I would, just wondering. There's no real... I guess there's a concept of game modes, but also not really. It's not like Gmod game modes or anything. You could just go into a map and like mess around. That's like what we do and stuff. I think we're gonna have like kind of custom support for game modes. I don't really know what the plan for that is. It's not gonna be like Gmod for sure.
It would be a neat thing to have. I've kind of talked. I was kind of talking about it earlier in the chat, but I Yeah, it would probably be a lot more like map specific. Like you would design a map for a specific game mode. Probably wouldn't be like Gmod where you just like choose a game mode on the menu and then you can just load any map.
Yeah. What does the keys give access to? The keys give access to the game, so you get the game on Steam.
Yep.
And stuff. Of course, there's some terms that apply, you know, blah blah blah. If you start leaking the game, like sending out builds, I mean, like, you know, we'll ban you from accessing it.
That's pretty much the only rule.
Yeah. And I guess if you're like a really horrible person, like, as in just like breaking Steam TOS and like saying horrible things, you know, then you'll get banned from like the Steam forum and Discord and stuff.
Or if you try to use P2CE to murder someone. I don't know how you do that, but that was brought up earlier in the other voice chat, so I thought I'd mention
Not
it.
allowed. Can't do it.
Yeah, sorry, that's illegal, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Oh boy. At this point, why not 64 players? I mean, sure, the hard limit is 255 players, that's for sure. I'm sure things break if you go above 32. Or 33, actually.
Yeah, it's 33 because of Source TV, apparently.
Yep.
Weird.
I remember, yeah, I think there are issues if you try to raise it. I remember doing that in like the SDK or something, and I think it like started crashing as soon as you got over 32. So, I've asked this before, but I forgot, and is buried now. Will the PS4 controller light bar change colors to your most recent portal, even if you have custom portal colors? Oh, that's a good question, actually.
What was the question?
I think it will, actually. So, like the PS4 light bar, you know, on the controller, if you
Yeah.
shoot a portal, it'll change colors, I think. Because there's like Steam input support for that.
Okay.
So I think that does directly pull from... I'm pretty sure it'll use your custom portal colors. But I have a PS4 controller to test with.
I might test it at a later date. I do.
Okay.
Well,
If it doesn't, then I'm sure we could implement that. It doesn't sound hard.
No, it'd be pretty simple.
so actually, I'm
Will
starting to
there
wonder
be-
if some of these people are from like other servers, like Bex. I think is in a speedrunning server.
Hmm.
So,
DM them a link to the Discord as well, then.
Yeah, I'll have to go
Just
through.
put them
When we get to the main ones, I'll have to go through and see if there are any other of these servers.
You might be in more servers than I am as well, because there are a
Yeah.
lot that I'm missing.
Yeah, I'm in most portal servers, so I'll have to go through and check that later when we get most of them done.
Will there be forklift certified Gus 2.0 from Half-Life 1? I
Okay.
regret to inform you no. Oh boy, so many questions.
Sorry, JJ, for dooming you to this fate.
Do you guys get the ability to create as many keys as you want? Always wondered how that works.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. You have to abide by certain rules. Obviously, you can't sell keys, you know? In our case, at least, you can't sell keys, because that's against our license agreement. But I think we can create as many as we want, really.
Valve can limit us, and they can say, why are you requesting 10,000 keys? And in which case...
We'll be like, we have some beta testers, and they'll be like, understandable, have a nice day.
Yeah. But, and they will, like, rate limit, and etc., but there are limitations within the scope of Steam or whatever, but we can generate a lot, to say the least.
Are you accepting applications that are being created recently, and does the game as well come with Chaos tools? Yeah, so the game has all the tools in it. There is a separate SDK app, but we're not really using it, or not using it at all, actually. But the plan is basically ship the tools with the game. The SDK app will be unused. And as for accepting applications that are being created recently, I think we might be actually. Are we?
I mean, we accepted
no.
a decent amount of them for the extra 25 that got sent out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
But,
Yeah,
but
okay, so we are-
sometimes no.
But sometimes. Okay, so maybe.
Kind
We
of
get a
depends
lot
on
of-
the application.
yeah, we
Okay.
get a lot of beta requests or not beta, how do you call it, beta key requests, and it takes a little bit to get through it all. Like, it was a lot of reading to go through and get 75 keys. I think each one has an application involved, so.
Someone says also define leak, like leaking files. Yes. So, or not. Like a lot of our stuff is already licensed under MIT, like the files. For example, the panorama stuff. So like, that's on GitHub. Do what you want with it. But what we mean by leaking is like, I'm gonna zip up a build of the game and send it to somebody. Like, please don't do that. So, that's like the only thing we really care about. Like, if you want to pull something from like the panorama folder or like a script made by us, like, go for it.
I'm getting rate limited by Discord at this point. Like, it's saying you've made too many new DMs. Chill out.
There is a rate limit for DM creation?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Me neither.
How many have I sent? I think I've sent about 23 or so.
I got more questions. This is probably a weird question, a really weird question, but any Novali support at all, maybe for really quick world building on loose document prompts. I'm not sure what that means.
What was the word?
Novali?
Don't know.
I assume that's like an editor, but I don't know. I'm just gonna say no. But if you want like easier placement on props and stuff, in the future we are definitely planning to have V-physics simulation within Hammer. So, is P2C fun to work on? Is it fun to play? Right now, Ace, I recommend muting. Okay. Is P2C fun to work on? Is it fun to play? So it's fun to work on, yeah. I think all of us work on this out of passion.
Yep.
Stuff. Is it fun to play? It's basically Portal 2 campaign right now. And our campaign is still coming together. There's stuff to play in it. It's still coming
Portal 2
together.
is fun.
I mean, our campaign too, it's fun. Although I spend most of my times in our campaign maps, like, debugging things. And also pointing out, like, holes, like no-draw issues.
I mean, you guys, it's so much fun to work on P2CE. Like, the other day, I spent 5+ hours into, like, 3 a.m. debugging code. It's a lot of fun. You get to...
One line.
It was one line! It wasn't even related to the change, either. It was just, like... It was related to the change, but just, like, super distantly. Oh, my God. JJ and Smade watched me suffer.
I was laughing the whole time.
I was losing it.
I was like, this is what you get for accepting your role on the team. Peace and suffering. Physics is fun.
It's just
Okay.
crazy.
What about 15.ai GLaDOS voice mixed with Novel AI? I guess it's Novel AI is what it was, not Novel-I. I still don't know what that is, but
We won't be including TTS lines in P2CE.
yeah, we definitely prefer like actual voice actors over.
We won't be including the Portal Prelude TTS scientists. No.
We definitely prefer real voice actors because they can put a lot of emphasis and like life into things. They can bring things to life, whereas AI is kind of difficult to control and it's not perfect at all. How many? Oh my god, the chat scrolling's annoying. How many key requests do you get on average each time you send out a link to the forum? I don't know what you mean by link to the forum, but
How many do we have in total right now?
check. It's a lot.
Yeah, I can pull it up. Here we have currently. I'm just scrolling. Like, this is taking me a while to scroll. We have 1,216 key apps at the moment, and oh, there goes another one. Someone just made one right now. Wow, as I was looking at it. What?
Keep in mind, I was like, wow, over 1,000. Keep in mind that there's a lot of duplicates in here from people resubmitting and stuff like that. So
yeah, we actually got a lot today.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
I only posted that link once. I told people to join the Discord for it.
Ooh, this one's good. I need this to make custom mods.
In the P2C level editor, will you be able to put down your own details such as custom assets or overgrown bits of plants or missing panels or even little portable and non-portable bits? I mean, yeah, you'll be able to do that. I mean, to the extent that there'll be sort of like BMod styles, I guess, right? But you'll be able to place down whatever you want.
So the way out for BMod that we kind of want to handle those sorts of details is basically, so it is a puzzle maker. This is talking about the puzzle maker, of course, because the question didn't seem to specifically say that. But in BMod, it's still a puzzle maker, and so designing the puzzle should be the main thing that you focus on in the editor. And so most detailing or random overgrown details and things would be done mostly automatically, with it just basically adding random plants or things around the chamber. And then you'd have specific markers, and in BMod these would just be items, but for a P2CE puzzle maker we could make it a specific function of the editor or something that lets you basically either disallow these auto decorations in a certain area, or either disallow them in a certain area, or you could specify always generate something in this area. But probably, and again, this could be a bit different for P2CE since we can modify the editor, but still, I think if we add too much detailing stuff, then it just becomes Hammer with slightly different geometry editing and stuff. So
to make note, Luke is speaking out of speculation. These are not features.
Yes, we are not working on the puzzle maker currently. I'm more talking about the way we're approaching it for BMod and how it's likely that we'll probably have P2CE work in a similar way, but because we can modify the editor, which BMod can't, things might be different.
Alright, next question. Most likely no, but in the future or in any plans, will there be any VR support? So we touched on that in the Q&A, and long story short,
Probably not,
but assuming time continues infinitely, it approaches a maybe. The likelihood of it happening approaches maybe. So, maybe.
It would be neat, but not really that important or useful.
So then someone asks, will/does P2C support Hammer++? It has integrated physics simulation for props and brushes. I don't think Hammer++ works with P2C. It might. I think maybe someone tried, but I could be wrong. Will it? Who knows?
You would definitely need to set it up the same. Using it currently with P2CE, you would definitely need to do the same thing as Portal 2, where you set it up with CSGO and then add a game configuration or whatever.
Also, someone asks, is the map that's on the screen playable in the P2C campaign or just another puzzle in the workshop? I mean, yes, that is a part of the campaign.
Yeah, it's from the campaign.
Yeah, everything that we show that isn't
workshop.
All of the videos that have been looping around on this video are from the campaign. In how they currently look, so things might change. It's all work in progress.
You may never see some of these ever again, but yeah, these are all our stuff.
It's
from our campaign
potentially
devs.
work in progress. Or not potentially, it is work in progress, so it definitely will change.
Yep.
Okay, next question. How hard would it be to add a handheld laser gun that activates those laser catcher thingies? Wow.
You mean like a
You
laser
probably do
gun?
that with CScript.
That's basically
Yeah, you
already
can do
done
that.
because I've played a map like that, exactly like that in Portal 2.
Yeah, but like this, of course, this totally valid question gets asked after I say, well, there will not be any additional weapons added directly in P2C. Now I'm tempted.
No.
Hope you're happy. But yeah, and you can also activate laser catchers with, end fire, I think, and stuff like that. So for debugging purposes. Oh boy.
Okay, I've sent out all the beta keys that I can send out.
Okay.
Nice.
There are a lot of people, to say the least, that are missing. 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people that I am missing that either changed their names or signed up for the key apps without actually being in the server. So we're fixing that.
Yeah.
So if you feel that you like, oh, I need my key, where is it? Maybe you changed your username. If you changed your username, go send in a new app right now that says, I changed my username. Please send me a new key. Oh, no. Or
And
whatever.
also include your old username, so we're not just like, oh, who is this person? So, and also, there may be people that do not, that are like, we're not able to find, and then, hey, we have an extra key, so if
You might be
were
accepting
debating
other people.
sending in an application, send in an application now. Maybe you'll get it if we have extras, who knows? Just letting you all know. I know that I keep asking a lot of questions about the engine, but I'm really interested into Chaos. Does the engine support vertex painting within Hammer and models, etc.? I mean, there's, typical blend textures for displacements, but vertex painting is not supported.
As he does it, writes, should we fill out the form again if we filled it out a year ago? Yes. Just fill it out again because there's a pretty good chance if you made a year-old key app that it is just sitting at the bottom of the pile and is not too likely to actually get found.
Yeah,
it
there's
may
like
be
still a
reviewed
lot of
overnight, who
keys.
knows?
There's still a lot of keys from like 2021 that some of them have just kind of got forgotten and haven't been reviewed. So do send, if it's been quite a long time, like a couple months, do send in another key app. And
Puts you back at the top of the pile.
Yep.
Someone's asking for a short summary of the campaign story. No, sorry, can't give it to you. Stay tuned.
Secret.
Yes, it's super secret. Let's see. How do you sign up for a new key? Let me grab the key application form and I will post it in stream chat. Basically, you fill it out, ensure the information is correct, of course, and submit it. And you can submit multiple. The latest one will get reviewed. I ask that you do not spam the form because we will automatically deny you in that case. Does P2C work with TeamSpend's Hammer add-ons? Lucky for you, we actually ship Hammer add-ons with the game, so yes, it does work. And of course, we make use of various features in Hammer add-ons. And we also have a fork of it, I think, right? Or at least the FGD stuff.
Yes. We do. Which,
It's get updated, but yeah.
yeah, there are some slightly out-of-date things with the FGDs, but we're working on it. The post-compiler is up to date, though.
Will the Combine Energy Ball alt-fire from the Combine SMG work correctly with the Aperture Energy Ball receptacles? It didn't work in Portal 1. if it didn't work in Portal 1, it probably won't work here. So, but it would be kind of funny to have that work.
You could set up your map to specifically detect the HL2 energy balls are a different entity, prop combine ball instead of prop energy ball. So you would need to just set up your map to detect those instead or alongside the Portal ones.
Oh.
So no, it won't work in existing maps, but you could set up a map so that it does.
So quick update on the PS4 light bar question. Apparently we did not have it, but Aaron is bringing the changes over from the Portal 2 branch right now.
Yay, Aaron! Super Aaron!
Changes, of course, are courtesy of Josh here, because I think that was who implemented that.
So is this for PS4 or PS5 controllers, or both?
Probably both. Let me see.
Alright.
I mean, it goes through the Steam input thing, so it would be any supported controller with a light bar.
Oh yeah, probably just any... Yeah, Steam probably handles that.
I agree. Aaron is very cool. So I think we're going to call it here.
Yay, I can finally go back to living.
Okay, I have to answer one more. I'm so sorry. Oh no. Okay.
Everyone's quickly spamming in questions.
This is the very last, I swear. What do I do if I just sent another form today but never mentioned a potential username change? Do I DM a dev on Discord or inform them, or should I leave you guys alone? We're all going to go to sleep, so you're not going to get a response from us, probably. No, I'm just kidding. Just submit another application, I guess, and just say, like, by the way, is my username potentially changed? That's why I'm submitting another one. So, yes.
Please let us know what your old username was. Make an app.
Yep.
Say, just all caps, my old username was this. I will see it. I'm gonna go, like, I don't know, lay in bed, like, try to nap for 2 minutes, and then I'm gonna go through more apps. So, please, if you change your username and you made a key app, please let us know. Because otherwise we have no idea. We will fix it up internally in our database. Really, it's a spreadsheet. And merge your applications together or whatever fanciness to make sure that your name change is counted. This is all systems that we're working on improving in the future, but we don't have 100 developers to make us a custom system. So just send in another app, just say, yep, my name's different. And
Okay, well, we've sent out all of the keys that we can find. So we'll have to go and look through some of the other servers to find the rest of the keys, or just give out the keys of the people we can't find, because they're nowhere to be found. But we'll see.
yep, we're figuring it out. So if you did like a /check and you said, yes, I'm getting a key, and then today you do it again and it says, no key, we're working on it. Send us your name change.
Yeah, this is fun, guys. Until next time, I guess.
Woohoo!
Bye.
Bye-bye!
Bye, JJ.
It's been fun.
I shall lead over the chat. For a little bit
Goodbye.
Before I disappear.
See ya.
Thank you.